Sex Talk with Erika Miley. 'Cause sexuality is tough. And okay, sex just isn't good enough. No. Sex Talk with Erika Miley.
Hey folks, welcome to Sex Talk with Erika Miley. Erika Miley here. Happy Mother's Day. So I'm saying this to myself too, because I, like many of you out there, I'm a mom. I have two wonderful kiddos. I have a 6-year-old and a 13-year-old. And I wanted to do an episode specifically aimed at you moms out there. Because, let's be real. Many of my clients are moms, and one of the things that I see with the mom clients I have is their biggest thing that they typically come to me for is how to enjoy sex more, how to have great sex, or how to reconnect with their partner if they haven't connected with their partner in a long time. And so I just think as a Mother's Day gift to all of you moms out there, I want to give you better sex. So let's get started. We're going to just start with probably one of the biggest reasons why women's sex drive takes a big dump. And it is stress. Stress. The level of stress that women, and especially moms, maintain is pretty incredible. And what it does to us, not only mentally, but physically, hormonally, is really, really, really important for us to pay attention to. Historically, what happened to many mothers is that when women started to join the workforce, they continued to maintain all of their household duties as well. So taking care of the kids, sometimes having a second job, making sure that all of the dinners are on the table, making sure that the house is cleaned. Those are fairly, traditional views. And I know some of those things are changing, but for many women, this continues to be the case. So the stress level that many mothers maintain is incredibly high. So I want to talk about 3 ways that you can increase your sexual pleasure as a mother. These are in addition to my regular things that I say on this show, which is counseling. That's a big one. Making sure that you are talking with your partner a lot about your sex life, because this is not another thing I want to add to your list, moms. I don't want to add this as your primary responsibility, but I want to give you 3 handy ways to really, Erika, how can I start tackling this issue? So, number 1, you're going to reduce your overall stress. Oh, I know. That's not, that is not what you want to hear. You're like, I can't reduce. I don't have time. I have so much on my list, Erika. I hear you. I absolutely hear you. I know that list very well myself. And here's the reality. We will often tell ourselves, no one else can do it but me. I have to be the one to do it. If no one can do it right, I have to be the one to do it. It's kind of that perfectionistic thinking that happens for many of us moms. Here's the next reality is that we need help. We absolutely have to have help, and we have to be okay to ask for it or take it when it's offered. The level of stress we maintain generally is too much and is incredibly hard on our health. And we are no good to the people that we love if we are not around for them. So I want you to reduce your overall stress and engage in some self-care. Now, I'm going to be very specific about reducing your overall stress. Very specific to sex. I want you to step out of the role of mother with your partner. Oh, I know. Ooh-wee. I know. Oh, but here's the reality of that. Here's the real. If you are the mother to your partner, you are not the lover to your partner. When you are reminding your partner to pick up their clothing, to do their dishes, to eat, to do all of these things, you are not a lover, you are a parent. And that dynamic, not just the stress, but the dynamic is an absolute and utter brakes on your sexual drive. If you feel like you are a caretaker and that person is another child you are raising in your household, you do not want to have sex with them. So step out of the role of mother with your partner. Number 2, this does not sound sexy. And guess what? Your list is long. So I know that spontaneous sex is not happening as often as you think. Because when I say this to any of my clients, they're like, oh, I want my sex to be spontaneous. Okay, if you want your sex to be spontaneous, you're going to keep showing up in my office every year that goes by that you're not having sex. So 2, I want you to plan regular sex and masturbation. Planning regular sex with your partner allows you to say, okay, I know that I am going to be connected with my partner this day every week, and we are taking time for pleasure, not only just for your partner, but for you. You are taking care of yourself by allowing yourself pleasure. And I include masturbation in this because masturbation is a beautiful stress reliever. It is wonderful for you to be able to get to know your own body and know pleasure by engaging in regular body care with masturbation. So, planning regular sex and masturbation, big deal. Quick break from the action, folks. Action. I just want to tell you about my Patreon. Every week, I bring you guests and seriously, lots of sex nerdery. Help me keep doing that by becoming a supporter. What do you get in return? Cool perks. For real. I am going to be doing shout outs, stickers, a bunch of stuff. So check it out at erikamiley.com/Patreon. That's erikamiley.com/Patreon. I hope to see you and see more of you by becoming a Patreon. Thanks, guys. Number 3. I say this probably more. I'm going to just sound like a broken record throughout this episode. Lubricant. I want you to use lubricant. As we get older, as female-bodied people, we lose our lubrication ability that we once had when we were younger. We also, stress and birth control and all of our biological factors impact the level of lubricant that we create with our bodies. So, lube is not a bad thing. You are not broken if you need to use lube. You should be using lube. It will make your masturbation, your sex, and all of the sexual things that you want to do with your partner all the more exciting and pleasurable, because you won't feel like you're, trying to rub skin against skin and all of the friction and burning. Yeah, no. Step out of that. Get some great lube. I suggest Sliquid or Yes, Yes, Yes. I love both of those companies very much. And if you're into adventure, there is some cannabis-based lube, which is called Foria. There are some others out there. So lubricant. That's number 3. Now, I don't want to say all of this and make you feel yet again, I'm going to repeat myself. I don't want you to feel like this needs to be on your list. Sexual pleasure is really, really, really important. It's important to our stress level. It's important to connection with our partner. It's important to us as individuals. You deserve, for how much you do for others, for how much you care for other people, for how many things you cross off on your list every single day. It is okay to seek sexual pleasure. One of the things I often hear from my female-bodied clients is guilt. When we start talking self-care, when we start talking about what do you need to care for yourself and show yourself some compassion, the first thing I hear from my clients is guilt. Well, when I do this, I feel guilty. Here again, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this wonderful analogy, and I think this is, many of my clients have heard this 100 times. When you get on an airplane, what do they ask you to do with the oxygen mask? They ask you to put it on yourself first before you put it on anyone else. And the reason that is so you don't die in the process of trying to put the oxygen mask on someone else before you put it on yourself. And we as therapists use this analogy a lot, but I think it's even more important when it comes to stress in women. We very much take on a lot on our plate, and the hormones that go through our body as a result are absolutely and completely toxic to us. Cortisol is a wonderful fight or flight or freeze mechanism hormone. It helps us keep alive. But chronic amounts of cortisol in our system causes us a lot of physical problems and increases our risks for many, many diseases, including cardiovascular diseases, cancer risk, and tons and tons. So I do have an extra tip. I want to encourage all of you, and there's a wonderful amounts of research about this next tip. So the extra tip is engage in trying to eat a more plant-based diet. The reason I say this, and I'm actually going to link to the article, it's from Mind Body Green, about why people who are vegan have better sex. The reason that I'm going to link to it is that there is a ton of research that suggests that eating a more plant-based diet increases your ability to manage stress, 1, and 2, and it helps us fight off a lot of the cancer-causing things that happen in our lives. Now, I'm not going to turn this episode into like why you need to be vegan. No. The reason that I want you to think about this is that foods rich in zinc and vitamin B elevate testosterone, which through research has shown to absolutely increase sexual desire. So that is why I want you to consider it. The more plants that we eat, the more zinc, the more vitamin B, the more testosterone that we can increase in our bodies, the more likely we are going to want to have great sexy time. So to revisit our top 3, 1, reduce your overall stress and step out of that role of mother with your partner. 2, plan regular sex and masturbation. It's so important. And number 3, use lubricants. It's so necessary. And don't forget that extra tip. Eating a plant-based diet with foods rich in zinc and vitamin B help to raise testosterone, which, yay, more sexual desire. So, all right, folks, I appreciate you being with me this week. I've got a few shout outs to give that I'm going to jump into the pod next week. And I'm also going to be talking more about what's coming on the Patreon. We've got some folks jumping into the Patreon, giving money every month to keep this show going. So I will be doing an update to that as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all next week. I might even add try to add some things to the show notes for this week as well. Thanks for sticking around to the end. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. See you next time. Thanks for listening, folks. Please rate and review on iTunes. It helps this podcast get found. If you leave a 5-star review, let me know about it on any social media, and I'll shout you out on the podcast. You can find my website at erikamiley.com. You can find me on Facebook, the Gram, and Twitter. See y'all next time.